Hello, Year 8. Right, what we're going to do now is the second part of our dance track recording. Now, what I've pre-prepared for us is where you should be after last lesson. So you've got all your samples recorded, ready to go for our next session. So what we've got here is, if I solo this piano now, I should be able to hear our piano on its own. Okay, so that's the minimum we should have. And then down here we've got our bass line. So if I play that, solo that, and then play it to you. Now that's our Event Horizon. Let's try heavy bass. Let's try that one. So that should be our bass line. There it is. And I've also doubled that with this sound here. And if I play them together, they sound like this. Okay, now I've also got all my samples that I've used to use the right-hand riff. So those are these here. So if I play them together, they sound like this. I've also got my beat as well, so that is on this one, exactly the same as I showed you last week. And if I play them all together, they sound like this. Now what we're going to start to do today is start to organise our sounds, which means that we've got to think about where we want our layers of sound to start coming in. So that's where your creative thinking comes into play. So I've got everything ready to go. Now I've got to think about where I want to place everything. Now I'm just going to move this block further on, so I don't want those just yet. I also don't want that one to come in yet, which I'll come in later. Let's put that there, and I also don't want that yet. I'm going to leave this sound first of all. So that's going to be my first sound. Then I'm going to bring in my beats. The next layer of sound will go here, and then I'm going to loop that so it plays together. Then I'm going to do the same with my piano. So the piano is going to be my next layer of sound, and then I'm going to highlight both of those and loop again. Okay, so now I'm starting to build texture, so I'm starting to add layers of sound, so it then becomes a piece of music. So finally I'm going to have the bass line come in here. This will be my next layer of sound. Again, highlight them all, click and drag to the right to loop them, and then finally to finish them off here, so that's going to be our last layer. So I'm going to have everything coming in at once like that, and then maybe we'll hear them play twice, or loop everything one more time like that. So now our piece of music becomes a bit more interesting. So that's only half the piece completed. Now what we're going to do is start taking layers away and build it up again. So I'm going to keep my beat going, because that's the most important bit really. So I'm going to keep that going like so. And I'm going to think out what I want to bring in next. Now here we're going to need to copy and paste our sound. So I'm thinking I'm going to need this one here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Command, or on your keyboard it's Window key and C. Put the playhead where you want to put it. Highlight the channel you want to copy it to, window key V, and then it copies it in like so. Same thing again, I'm going to need that one as well. So window key C, highlight the channel you want to copy it to, put the playhead where you want to copy it to, window key V, and then it goes like that. Okay, so now I've got that sound, just the beats like that. I think also going to add that one along that line, so couple that one there, and then same thing again here. Going to copy, window key C. I'm going to put the playhead where I want to put it. Let's put it there. Highlight the channel, window key V, and in it goes. So I'll leave that for now, and then keep building the layers. Same thing again. So I'm going to have the bass line, window key C, highlight the channel, window key V, and our final layer of sound is going to be that one. I'm going to put that one in there as well. So there we go. Highlight them all, loop everything. Okay, so now the sound will build up once again. So I've got the first build up, the second build up, and now I want to think about how I'm going to end the piece. So I'm going to leave, it's going to move that one over there. So I'm just going to leave the beat, the low bass line, and the sound effect there. So then I've just got that sound there. So now I should have a fairly well structured dance track. So he'll play it to you now. So there is an almost well-structured dance track. So yours will look something similar to mine, but it doesn't have to. You can be as creative as you like with it, but that is one solution which you might want to think about. So I want you to think about controlling texture and thinking about how you're going to present your ideas. Now, what we're going to do next is we're going to add some dynamics and also some panning. Now, dynamics, as you know from year 7, is louds and softs, but panning is a new effect, which we're going to talk about in a minute. Now, first of all, let's get rid of these. Don't need these anymore. I'm going to click this button here. If I hover over it, it says Show Hide Automation. Click on it. Then the channels will have a couple of options to you. Now, make sure when we're looking at dynamics that we look at volume. Make sure that that is highlighted. Make sure that's ticked. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a fade in. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this very faint line here. Click on it, and it turns yellow. And you'll see there's a dot at the end. Put another, click on it again, and another dot appears. Drag the first dot down, and now the channel will fade in. So if I show you this now, so if I solo that one, and I bring it back to beginning, you'll hear that this will now fade in. Okay. We can also make it fade out. If you put a dot in there, we can also make it fade out like that. Okay, so what I don't want to see is this. We don't want to see this going on because that really isn't creative. Think about how you present your sound. Okay, so there we go. There's our fade in. Right, panning is when we present the sounds either in your left ear or your right ear when you're wearing your headphones. So in other words, spreading the sound across a stereo field. It makes a much more interesting recording. Now, what we're going to do here is let's take the same one, for example. Now, if I'm going to change it to pan, and I click the line again, a green line appears. Now, if I put another dot in, that means the sound will pan to your left ear and then pan to your right ear. Pan to your left ear, pan to your right ear, like that. So I could carry on like that. That's how to automate panning. However, if I unclick that and I go back to the channel itself, you'll see this wheel here. And if I drag everything to the right, put that hard right, the sound will appear in your right ear. If I put it hard left and there's minus figures, then it'll be in your left ear. So I want you to think about that when you're recording your music. Okay, good luck. That's what it should sound like and what it should look like by the end of this lesson.